Good morning, everybody. My name is Masayuki Ichinose. I'm very happy to be here today, and I really appreciate invitation by ECCJ this time. So my talk is about more holistic issue around zero energy building. This is the content of today I will talk to you. First of all, I will talk about more global issue about GHG emission over the world. And next, I will talk about green building and zero energy building issues based on some kind of database or some regulation and some references. Then next, I will talk about my research achievement, some kind of data collection in this area and analyze how the building performance is. Then followed by how this kind of zero energy building technology contribute for the reduction of emission over the world. The first topic is more talking about holistic statistics. So today we are here, Singapore. Here is very tropic climate and very hot, humid. So what I wanted to emphasize in this presentation is important point is urbanization and hot and humid climate. Because you can see this graph, already Japan and US and European country has a lot of population in urban area, almost 80% more than. Then from here, China and other developing country is going to be more population. It's going to be same as us. It means people wants to live in urban area, right? This is one key point. And next one is, you can see this climate zone graphics and the graphic. And mostly the cities, important cities, Tokyo, Singapore, Indian and Asian countries, cities, fundamental cities located in the hot and humid area. So this is two keywords from today I wanted to emphasize. So this is a statistic of history of energy consumption all over the world. Energy is anyway, energy consumption is just increasing right now. Because of COVID, energy consumption just a little bit decreased, but basically the tendency is just increasing. Especially this Asian area is the problem issue. Some predictions said by 2030, our Asian area region accounts for 50% of global energy consumption. Yeah. So inside of Asia, of course, China is number one emission for CO2, and followed by India and ASEAN. So the problem is people want to focus on Chinese issue, but when it comes to some statistics in China, it's going to be already peak out as soon as possible in China, because of the population is decreasing from now. And the Chinese target is by 2060, they are going to be carbon neutral. Maybe they will make effort a lot. So from now, I will talk about some statistics in ASEAN. ASEAN Center for Energy published some kind of scenario of future emission. As you may know, BAU, ATS, APS, and LCO. This is different scenario, and I will talk from now. So this is ASEAN area's future scenario of CO2 emission. This is business as usual. If we don't do any zero energy building, any kind of improvement of carbon emission. Just CO2 emission is increasing. By 2050, it's going to be almost 4 times, 5 times from current situation. This is very horrible scenario. But even if a lot of strategy was conducted, this area is going to be just increasing. It's totally far from carbon neutral. This is real facts. As I mentioned, China is going to be decreased, even if business as usual. If this area, ASEAN, don't do anything, business as usual, maybe 2050 or around that, it's more than China in the future. Even if some kind of strategy was conducted, carbon neutrality is far, totally far. Yeah, this is some statistics and scenario mentioned. So for the carbon neutrality, the important thing is energy conservation first. The other important factor is efficiency of emission efficiency. Yeah, this is very important. This is current situation of Asia and Japan. Japan is now 0.463, and the Asian country is almost same level already, Japan. But China and India is very high. Efficiency is very bad. So the reason why China and India can reduce GHG from now is they have a lot of potential for reduction of this emission. Yeah, this is very important point. So this is ASEAN scenario of carbon emission efficiency from now. Business as usual is almost same from now. There is no improvement. And the other scenario showed the most radical scenario showed 0.2. It means almost everywhere is photovoltaic. Yeah, it's something difficulty, I think. So maybe we have to discuss business as usual, and between 0.3 or around that is maybe more practical, I think. So next I will talk about green building and zero energy building situation. So this is an example of the green building project in Asia and ASEAN, this area. You can see basically green building is super high-rise glass facade and fully air-conditioned. But in this area, green building certification is very keen to new projects. And people want to get platinum, gold, non-certified, anything. Yeah. So my research question is how this kind of green building project consume energy, how much? Because there is less statistics and open data about this kind of buildings. So this is very big and important question for my research activity. So this is a synopsis of green building and zero energy building strategy in Asia and Japan. In Japan, we have clear definition for zero energy building, how the zero energy building is. The other countries still not have a definition of zero energy building, but maybe ISO, Japan, ECCJ, and community already suggested ISO standards. Maybe some country and area is going to be follow this standard. So there is a lot of definition for the green building standards and energy conservation law. So I just compare with this kind of energy target level in each different country and area. Japan, we have definition for the zero energy building. Normally, we have target for zero energy. ZEB ready is one of the practical target level here. So we compare with ASEAN and Asian countries standard. Maybe Singapore super low energy is almost same level as the ZEB ready, and maybe this is can be shared with each other. How the energy efficient building is. So when it comes to zero energy building, it's something different. Yeah, this is an example of the zero energy building in Japan, US, and China. Basically, as Dr. Clayton Mears presented, super high-rise is impossible for zero energy building. Normally, the 3 stories or 4 stories is maximum because it should be canceled in same site. Yeah. I don't have to explain zero energy building definition because maybe later presenter will explain more detail. Anyway, important point is we have to reduce energy consumption first. Then we can go to the energy products by photovoltaic or renewable energy. So this is a target level of zero energy building, how each country has some target and the goal for how the zero energy building is spread. Normally, the 2030 is kind of common deadline, how the zero energy building is spread in each country. So now I'm focusing on the statistics of zero energy building target. Each country and area issue some target level of zero energy building energy consumption. I just compare with each different countries, and simply say the target level is around 100 kilowatt hour per meter square is common level. But of course, type of the building and location affects this target level. For example, in US, I just compare with each different states of zero energy building target level definition. In hotter area is much more relaxed, and cold area also relaxed. So even if we say zero energy building, we have to consider about climate and culture. Yeah. Next, I will, in our research team, we are survey about a lot of database all over the world, commercially available, public available. First one is CBEX from US. There are, we just checked more than 100 projects. And we also see the NBI and the Construction 21, APEC database, and DECC is Japan, and SII, also Japan. Actually, the database is still not enough for analyze, but we try to correct a lot of database from all the world this time. This is a number of the projects in different area and countries. US is number 1, and next maybe Japan, and also we have projects of zero energy building. Of course, Europe is also has a lot of zero energy building projects as well. So this is a comparison of the building scale and stories. As I mentioned, when it comes to zero energy building project, 4 stories or 3 stories is the most number. Yeah. Non-zero energy building can be more super high-rise and higher building, but zero energy building is something limited. Yeah. So if we go to the carbon neutrality, we can not only focus on zero energy building. Non-zero energy building is also have to be reduced for the zero to the carbon neutrality. This is my opinion. When it comes to energy consumption target level, we compare a lot of database. The project almost, as I mentioned, 100 kilowatt hour is target level all over the world. Of course, non-zero energy building is much higher energy consumption. This is database. So next, I will talk about our research project. So as I mentioned, I have strong research question about how the green building actual energy performance is. Because of this question, I have been doing a lot of research survey in these cities. Almost, I spent 8 years. Yeah. So of course, our team is just 10 students and researchers. It's difficult to conduct ourselves. So I have a lot of collaborator in each fundamental cities with the university. In Singapore, I have collaboration with NUS and SIT. This is example of our target building in these cities. As you may know, this is quite difficult to have permission for this kind of research survey because building is working and some building owners don't want to know about real facts and publish. But mainly my work is a negotiation and get permission and explain and report. Yeah. So this is a very, very easier to understand how the green building is inside happened. Yeah. Actually, because of the how to say data security and the promise with building owner, I have to anonymize all of the building name. And you can see the different cities here: Singapore and Bangkok, Hanoi, Taipei, Hong Kong, and Jakarta. This is very clear result. We just have measurement in each project, almost 1 week. Temperature, humidity, PMV was measured. Then this is the result of temperature. In Singapore and Bangkok, it's very clear. Temperature is always 21 to 22. It's like a winter in Tokyo. Yeah, very, let's say it's very cold. Yeah, this is real facts. Another fact is we also asking questionnaire in each office building. So the people say a lot of symptom. It's kind of syndrome of the cooling, excessive cooling. People feel shoulder ache or cooling feeling on the neck, shoulder, body. It's kind of cooling syndrome. Almost 30 to more than 30% people have sensation about this kind of sickness. Yeah, this is very serious issue, I think. So because of this kind of excessive cooling, energy consumption is also problem, in fact. We just compare with each project baseline and actual energy consumption. Let's say cooling energy consumption is too much. Yeah, anyway. And some project has LEED platinum level, but some projects show the much more than baseline in real situation. Yeah. This is very problem, I think. Because of this energy consumption, we just compare with baseline and the actual energy consumption in this graph. You can see the different color of the plot, non-certified, gold level, platinum level. But simply you can understand there is no relationship. Some non-certified projects also show good performance, but some platinum projects doesn't make sense. So this result shows current green building certification doesn't make sense so much about real energy conservation. So this is a simple result of our research project in this area. So next, I will talk about how this kind of zero energy building technology contribute for the reduction of emission. So because of our research survey is limited, just 1 week survey, and some building give us holistic energy consumption, but some building doesn't share us. So from now, I will based on the energy simulation result. Anyway, a lot of manual zero energy building technology, for example, efficient facade, efficient air conditioning system, or something like that, a lot of menu. But simply say the most efficient technology is ventilation and air tightness of building. Yeah, because most of the city is in the tropic and hot and humid. So this is a comparison between Tokyo and the fundamental cities in south part of Asia. If all of the menu of the zero energy building technology was applied, in Tokyo we can reduce almost 40%. This is maximum. But when it comes to Singapore and this hot and tropic area, the possibility is more. 60% reduction is possible. 60% reduction is very big, yeah, but it is possible. Maybe time is over already, but I cannot explain in detail, and I cannot explain in English in detail, but simply said, if we wanted to achieve ATS or this kind of level of CO2 reduction by 2050, zero energy building have to be spread 40 to 60%. It means all of the buildings, not only new construction. This is our statistic analysis result. This 40 to 60% is, I think, it's very difficult, but we have to do that from now by 2050. Yeah. So I would like to finalize my presentation here. So anyway, this building area is very responsible for sustainability all the world, because our energy consumption almost accounts for 50%, 40 to 50% in right now, and and zero energy building technology should be spread 40 to 60% by 2050. This is very big challenge for us. I also wanted to mention about data and transparency and sharing, because my research is anyway access to the real energy consumption and the indoor environment, but it's very difficult because there is no framework about sharing data, this kind of issues. Because of the COVID, and next we are now have to do the sustainability. We need to sharing data and with transparency. This is what I wanted to emphasize this time. Thank you very much for kind attention.